Hello guys, it's John from Rumble in the West. I'm here again today doing more PlayStation 1 games, testing for our mini comps. Mini comps, of course, will not cost any extra money on top of your ticket. The only comp that you do have to pay extra for is the pinball. So if you're into arcades and video games and not pinball, then I guess that's good for you. I think the pinball players are used to paying for their comps, but anyway, digressing, I'm here to play PlayStation 1 games to make sure that these games aren't going to take too long, because we have packed in so much to this event that if anything runs over, it's going to be it's going to create a problem. So I am today testing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, which is mirrored, I guess, because my camera's mirrored. So, but anyway, you get the point. There's Tony. Let's put it in to the PlayStation. This game was released in, it says 1999, 2000. So I guess it was one of those years. 1999, 2000. That was 20 years ago. Wow. That's a long time. This game I played a lot as a kid. For the comp, I thought it'd be fun to do something different and do a horse comp. I think that would be, I mean, it's still the same game, but just something different. But I'm gonna see how long that takes, because it might take a bit longer, but let's try it out. 2 players, except I'm gonna be both players. Horse. Once again, thanks to everyone for sharing our content and letting other people know about the event. That really helps, because we really lean budget. We rely on people's word of mouth. So these are all the default guys. I always play Rodney Mullen because he has the best balance, and that allows me to do more multipliers. And player 2 can be Tony Hawk. Why not? Oh, need to use the second player controller. Put that there. Stat change. No stat change. Level. Let's go. I can only do the ones that are available by default. I don't like New York. Let's do Marseille. Marseille? School's always a good one. I don't know if I've ever played this level on horse. Horse. Player 1, set score. Whoa, sloppy. 47. Alright. Player 2. Match. I think, does Rodney Mullen have like a good ollie height as well? Possible. I think Tony's gonna lose this one. So, whoops. Oh god. Okay. At least I got a gap in. Is anyone timing this? I guess I can watch the video back. 4 minutes. We're 4 minutes in. Yeah. Oh. I probably need to actually win some with Tony to get a more accurate idea of how long it's going to take. Whoops. Oh, not even thinking. It's probably going to take longer than this. Let's leave it at that. So, how much time do you actually get? Only 10 seconds. Okay. That should be enough. Switch. So I think most people probably know this game, but if you don't, a big part of scoring high is multipliers and specials, which in horse, I guess you can't really do specials in horse, can you? Because you don't have no special meter. Or do you automatically have special meter? I don't know. Damn. I keep winning with Rodney. Let's see if I can do the special. Nope. I don't know Tony's specials. Whoops. That's it, he loses. What did that take, like 2 minutes? Retry. Ow. Maybe we should do school. There's no special meter. Which is interesting. I think that changes the game a lot for veterans who are used to using specials to get high scores. But I suppose it becomes just about multiplier. H. Whoa. So let's see. Can I try and explain? Basically, you have a base score for each trick that you do. So if I do a kickflip, that was 300 with a kickflip, and then every like bit of combo that you add on to that, you get a multiplier. So by spinning, I increase my multiplier. Actually, that one, yeah, all I did was spin, so I didn't get a multiplier. Let's try it on a vert. There's a vertical ramp. I'm running out of time. Uh-oh. Whoops. Yeah, so every element that I add on to the trick adds a multiplier to the score. So obviously the higher your multiplier, the higher your score goes. Whoops. But obviously the more base there is as well, that's where the specials come in, because the specials are worth a lot. Like a high base amount. But in horse, we won't be doing specials, I guess, so I find that another way to add to the base is to use grabs, like hold onto grabs for a while, or grind for a while. Spinning also adds to your multiplier. Whoops, damn. But the quickest way to build up your multiplier is with manuals and grinds. So you grind, and then do a flip, go back into the grind. This is actually a manual. But if there's no rail around, then you just do a manual. To do a manual, you press while you're in the air before you land. You press up down or down up, and if you press down up, you'll go into a nose manual. If you press up down, you'll go into a regular like heel manual. And you can, as long as you can press up down before you land, you can keep going, except you can't do it at the end of a vertical ramp like that. So that's why it just ended there. But you can, theoretically, you can even do it on the spot. So the other thing is, the more you do the same trick, whoops, shit. The more you do the same trick, the less it's worth in terms of its base value of points. So if you keep doing the same trick, it ends up not being worth that much. So you've got to do different tricks by pressing different directions, plus the trick button. And that includes like grinds. Damn. Obviously you have the two different types of manuals. The other thing to keep in mind is that your balance over the course of balancing, it gets more difficult. So when you're grinding, he's leaning left and right, and I'm pressing the directions to correct the balance. And it's the same with the manual, and you actually get this little indicator, and the longer you go, the faster it moves. So there's a bit of skill to like keeping it going. However, having said that, the different skaters have like a different level of skill for each of these things. So Tony Hawk is good at vertical stuff. So he's really, I think he would go higher off a vert ramp. And Rodney Mullen wouldn't be as high off a vertical ramp, but he can balance a lot longer because that's kind of his thing. And for me, that's really suitable because it allows me to keep the multiplier going longer. So usually what I do is try and finish up on a vert ramp so that I can hold a grab for a while and really increase the base points. Shit. But you've got to land straight, of course. Yeah, see, I do much better with Rodney, and I don't know if that's because I'm just used to him, but his balance obviously is much better. So if you've never heard of horse before, which I was telling someone about this, and they had never heard of horse before, which is so weird because it's like, whoops, it's not just in this game. Like, I've played horse doing basketball hoops. Basically, all it is you have the 5 letters in horse, and the first player gets to perform a trick. They set the score, and then the second player has to try and beat their score. So the score is 150, which is nothing. Yeah, so then just by doing that, I push it up to 645. So if the second player beats them, then the first player gets another chance to beat that score again. And basically, whoever doesn't beat the set score first gets a letter. Hopefully that makes sense. But I think it'll be pretty clear when you're playing. So now I pushed the score from 645 to 12 something. Why is it loading like that? That was weird. Seemed to take a while to load. Anyway, Tony. So now I have to beat 12,000 something, which should be relatively easy to do. Ah, crap. And I didn't because I fell over, obviously. Then you get a letter. Once it spells horse, then you're the loser. With the comp, we will do, depending on how many players enter, I like to do double elimination bracket. because I think that's a much better way. Eliminates the chance of, you know, random, you know, you just happen to have a bad game. The double elimination gives you an extra chance. So I think it's a good way, you know, it's a pretty common way that people do these kinds of competitions. So we'll probably, whoops, do that. Is Tony just lost? Yep. So it seems like each game probably only takes about 5 minutes. So depending on how many people come, we'll do either double, or if there's a lot of people, we might have to do a single elimination bracket. And it'll just be head to head, and people will get knocked out until we have the final two. Some of the finals I will schedule on the big projector screen, so they might be later in the day, but it's going to be really fun because we'll have a bunch of finals for people to watch high level play in these games. So even if you're, you know, not great, you'll get to watch people who are good at these games, and that's can be really exciting too. So yeah, that's the plan. Pretty simple, pretty fun, especially if you're into this game. And yeah, we'll leave it there. Thanks guys. See ya.